Hello everyone, welcome back to Fishbox Studio. My name is Taylor. Sorry, I've been busy with school. We're nearing the end of the semester. Right now it's fall break, but finals should be next week. Then I'll be off and we'll release more videos soon. After that, go back to school. Videos will be short. And you know the drill. Once school's over, videos will come back. So I apologize. I work a full-time job. I also do full-time school, so my available time is rather short. Anyways, today I'm going to talk about this tank right here next to me. We're also going to talk about books. If you remember, well, one of the questions I see all the time in Facebook groups, Reddit, forums, what kind of books do you guys use for your aquarium to improve your knowledge or whatever? Thought we'd answer that today. First, let me give you an update on this tank. As you can see, I've changed a lot. Pretty much all of it. Sorry. Just got done with the water change, so there's bubbles all over the place, but most of this is now just CO2. Let's go up close. Let me explain everything. So, today I wanted to talk about books. Like I said, let's start with a couple of my favorites. Start right here. This mini encyclopedia for aquarium plants by Peter Hiscock. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. This is a fun planted book. It's not necessary because you can look up just about any plant on Google and get all the information you need. But it's fun to have it in a written form sometimes. He's got tons of various aquatic plants that you would find in stores. It's got how to plant them, how to trim them, how to propagate them, how to make more. The whole 9 yards. Tons of various swords, hair grasses, Ludwigias, Java ferns, Sagittaria. That's just a couple. There's a ton in here. It's a fun book to have. Not necessary for a hobbyist, but I like it. I think it's really fun. We're going to talk about this. This book is Freshwater Aquariums, Basic Aquarium Setup and Maintenance by David Alderton. Sorry, my dog got a hold of it a long time ago. This book actually has a special story because this is actually the book that brought me into the hobby. We were at Petco, buying kennels for my 2 dogs, and I just was struck by the aquariums in the center of the store and wanted to learn more about them because they reminded me of all the tanks I used to see when I would go to the hospital for chemotherapy and radiation back when I had cancer, and that's a story for another time. And anyways, I brought this book home and read it front to back and went back to the store, came home with the 20-gallon kit, and that's where I got my start. Been doing it for 8 years now, and here we are. Anyways, what I like about this book is it's very basic. Talks about all the equipment you might need, from the size of the tank to the nitrogen cycle, couple short things about plants and how to plant them, what fish go good where, some small little descriptions on fish species that you might find in the store, basics about tank maintenance, algae, the chlorinator, the usual various filters and how they operate and function. Pure bone basics. There's a lot of colors in here, a lot of things like how to treat illnesses, guidance, or how to like breed the basic stuff, how to feed them the right stuff. It's really fun. It's a very basic book, but I think it's fun. Very helpful for a beginner. It's what brought me into the hobby, and it's what made me prepare for things like the nitrogen cycle, which most beginners have no clue about. So, that's that book. Two of my favorite books. These are Nature Aquarium books, book 3 and book 1. There is a second book, but they're hard to find. These are by Takashi Amano, the father of nature aquascaping, the guy who basically showed us what nature aquascaping is and invented it. These are mostly his work from the mid-90s to the early 2000s. These are like books about his work, photos of the scapes he's done. Basically, the photos are very high quality. This is a very good book to look at if you just want some inspiration. Both of them. Or all three. Anyways, they're the best books you can get. The downside is they don't print these books anymore. And even the used copies are dang expensive. We're talking, I've seen these books fetch upwards of $300. Depends on where you look. Both of these, I bought both of them for around 50 to 80 bucks maybe. They're still expensive. So you gotta look. But they're really good books. They're my favorites, one of my favorites. However, there is a better book from Takashi Amano that I think is better for beginners and for me. That's cheaper. And that's this. This is Aquarium Plant Paradise. It's kind of a small version of the other books, but a little bit more beginner friendly. It's not very big. I've seen this book for cheaper, $20, $30, $40 used. Again, they don't print it anymore. But what I like about this book more than the others is it's very beginner friendly. It's actually tutorials in a sense. You got a bunch of tanks with diagrams of how we scaped them, where he put the plants, where he put the rocks. Let me show you one. Here we go. This is one of them. This is the final tank. These are various pictures of stages of setup, and this is the diagram. This is the diagram from the front. This is the diagram from the top. It shows you where all the plants are, how the wood is positioned. This has helped me out a ton when I was a beginner. The downside is, of course, is no piece of wood is going to look exactly the same in this book. So you got to kind of use your best to kind of emulate it if that's what you're trying to do. But I think that's a good thing because it kind of teaches you that no aquascape is the same, and it kind of teaches you to trust your own instincts in a sense. This is one of my favorite books. Probably my favorite Takashi Amano book of all time. A lot of this is early 90s work, which is more the early stuff. Shows you the basic methods of scaping your tank, whether that's using an island, a triangle, concave, convex, concave, whatever. Really great. Perfect for a beginner. Is Sunken Gardens. Step-by-step Guide to Planning Freshwater Aquariums by Karen Randall. This is one of the good books. I really like this book. This is basically a book about aquascaping, planted tanks, CO2, plants, the usual. It's very fascinating though. Again, this is stuff you can easily find online. Just about all these books are, for the most part. But it's really nice to have a printed form of that information because it lasts forever, unlike the data on your phone. And it helps you disconnect from your phone. That's why I like having books. But this book is all about like maintenance, planting, how to plant, how to take inspiration from nature, about CO2. Really cool book, really fun book. This is Training Days in Japan, my journal. This is from Oliver Knott. He's one of the few people, he's a famous aquascaper and one of the few people that got to learn under, as a student, Takashi Amano. And this is basically his journal about what he learned, how his life's time was there. It's not really a book about learning about fish tanks, it's more about the origin or history of it, but it's a fun book. This is a special copy that's signed by Oliver Knott himself that I ordered. And it's basically just him documenting his time with Takashi Amano, what it was like to escape with them. You know, fascinating read if you're just interested in aquariums and don't want more knowledge, just want something fun to read. The Aquascaping Guide by Stephen Hummel and Chris Luca. This is one of my favorites. It's kind of a magazine sort of thing, but it's pretty high quality. And it's all about Chris Luca and Steven documenting nature of places they've been to, and then how they pick wood and escape a tank, what they think about, how they load it. A couple tutorials about doing things like nano tanks in here, how to take care of your plants, a couple pictures of various species of fish. Fun book. I love this book. It's one of my favorites, probably my top 3. It's very cheap. I actually bought this at my local aquarium store. It's really fun. I'm gonna go with these 2. These are also from Dennerline. These are the Guide to Aquarium Plants. I think this is 15, 16, 17, 18. Also by Chris Luca and Stephen Hummel. These are basically just plant guide books, but it's very much similar to that aquascaping guide. There's some tutorials in here. One of these books, I think it's this one, that even has like a tutorial or a guide to make a planted tank for discus, which I find fascinating because that's pretty hard to do, especially for beginners. And picking the right plants that could withstand those high temperatures, I think it's really cool. So yeah, these are the books that I like. Thought we'd share this just so you guys can, maybe find some books you've never heard of or seen. There are a few other books I have that I don't have physical copies of, like Ecology of a Planted Tank by Diana Wallstead. That's a really good book. It's very in-depth though, so lots of graphs, lots of numbers, lots of data. Not very picture-like. It's more like a book for someone who wants to get into the nitty and gritty of a planted tank. Another one that I like is Aquascaping by George Farmer. He's another popular YouTuber. Probably one of my idols. And he wrote a book about aquascaping that I like. I think it's a really good book, and I can't wait for his next book that he is supposedly working on with a partner. And yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. I'm hoping there will be some time, there will be time for me to do some more videos in December, because that will be end of the school semester, and I'm planning on doing a special Christmas episode. I'm not gonna spoil what it's about yet, but I promise you'll enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Catch you next time. Laters.